when they don't have the money. Such a saddening thing to see. And I say, oh.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I Am I. My name is Joshua Ansley, and today I want to talk about free will. So we can easily get into a philosophical debate about whether there's free will or predetermination, and it's fucking stupid, quite frankly. By the way, anything that I share in these is all just different concepts and ideas. It's really, the more you learn, you really know that there is no right and wrong. I know it doesn't make sense, because that's the mind trying to make sense that works in right and wrong. There is no right and wrong, but there's different things upon the path, different places upon our path where different ideas can help us out, right? So maybe next week I'll be like, everything's predetermined. But regardless, the fact is you can actually have it be predetermined and have free will. It's integration. It's both at the same time. Because if everything's predetermined, so you say doesn't matter what choice I make, it's going to happen whatever way it's going to happen, that's fucking stupid. Because then it's going to happen whether or not there is some divine intelligence that knows what's going to happen already, it really doesn't fucking matter. You obviously know, as an intelligent human beings, some of us are a little more intelligent than others, right? That doesn't make us better, but some of us are more intelligent than others, you know? I'm not saying that. Maybe I'm not one of them. Maybe I might be the lower cadre. We know that as a logical human being, there is a law of cause and effect. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You know, it's called karma in, the Eastern philosophy, and it's, whichever law of Newton's law, I don't fucking remember. It's the law of cause and effect, right? So we do have a choice. The idea that there is something punishing us if we make a wrong choice is really just, I believe to be an immature or unevolved understanding of it, right? There's not wrong. You're not being punished because you did something. There's just an isness to it. There's just a way it is. And in this idea, God or the self or higher power or whatever you wanted to call it, just for a moment, just entertain the fact that it doesn't give a fuck about you. Now some of you, I've said this before, some of us need to understand that when we're in the mind, we're completely emotionally distraught. We need that love. So that's where you can go, Jesus, love me, please. I'd fucking do it. I'll do it to any deity. I'll be like, anybody, please fucking help me, right? Crying, sobbing, screaming to fucking Krishna or Jesus or some, like I said, fairies or gnomes or some shit, whatever, right? But that's because when we're stuck in the mind, that creates our emotions. Right? So, but if we entertain and understand the fact that God doesn't necessarily give a shit about us, but God, or that self, is caring. It is love. See, love doesn't try to make you do anything. Love allows. Love is freedom, right? But it understands that if you go over here, there's going to be a consequence to your action, not because you're wrong or you're being punished. The greatest example I can understand, it's from Shankara. It's not my own metaphor, but it's the idea of a fire, right? If there's a fire 200 meters away and you want to get warmed and you're sitting out in the freezing fucking cold and you're choosing not to go next to that fire, and that fire doesn't give a fuck about you. It doesn't care whether you come close to it or not, but the fire is warm. That's it. So understand that we can make a choice to move into this space, not to try and get something, but to try and be something. So that we can allow love, we can allow ourselves to be love. We can allow ourselves at the very core of who we are to let that love grow from within us, as opposed to trying to get it from an external source. Love, validation, approval, worth, any of that stuff, right? We let all of that come from within. At the very core of who we are that space of complete steadiness, complete stability, absolute love, absolute everything, right? So that we're not seeking it from externals. And so it doesn't have to be that there is some external God that we're going to. Right? It's not, and we're not being punished for doing something wrong. It's just a matter of fact of the way it is. So if we choose to step into that space, if we choose to sit by the fire, then we will get warm. We don't have to. And this self or God, right, which doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't do anything. It can't do anything. In order for it to do something, it would have to not be absolute. It would have to not be complete. In order it to be in one space and move to another, it would have to have not been in that space. So in order to do something, it had to have not been a part of everything already being done. Right? So that space is absolute and already there. So that space is love, is stability, because you can't be unstable if there is only singularity. You have to be opposed to something. You have to push or fight, or something has to be fighting against and duality in order for you to have imbalance. Right? So in that space of singularity and isness, when we choose to sit next to that fire, again, metaphorically, when we choose to actually be the fire, really is what it is when we choose to be the fire and let that grow from within us. We make that choice. We have the free will. And if we don't, it's not punishment. You're just going to fucking get smacked around a bit by something else. Anyway, those are my 2 cents on it. So make the choice. Make the choice, observe in your life, understand where you are coming from in your mind-body complex and where you are causing distance from that space to consciously start to move into love so we can consciously and constantly, it won't be constant, but the more we move towards that space, it's progress, not perfection. But can we work through our own pain and not bring that pain to others? Can we let love grow from within us and forgiveness and healing? Right? And I've said this before. I want to be clear. The idea of forgiveness or unconditional love, I've had people come up to me and be like, well, I love unconditionally and they keep abusing me. Or, I keep forgiving them and bringing them back and then it's a toxic relationship. That forgiveness or unconditional love has nothing to do with being near somebody else. It's a way we feel about it. So if you get out of a toxic relationship, you emanate love and forgiveness for them because God forgive them, for they know not what they do. God forgive me, for I know not what I do. And move into love. Just stay in love. Sit next to the fire of your own free will. In Lakesh Lakin, I am you, you are me. Namaste. What? Too much?